Let's continue our discussion around linked list versus arrays. Now, arrays they have an inherent advantage, and the advantage is that they have a constant access latency, that is O of 1. So across the whole array, whether we access the first element, the middle element, or the last element, so all of them are accessed in same latency, that is 1, that is of the order 1. So this makes array simple and fast. So that means we just have to allocate n blocks, and these n blocks are indexed to be accessed in a constant time latency. But the problem here is reuse and resizing. So if we have to expand or shrink based on the memory requirements, so that is inefficient. And second, so consider the fact that we have an element k here and we need to remove this. Now this means that the whole array that needs to be contiguous with the previous remaining array. So whole of this array has to be shifted to this point. So that means insertion and deletion are costly operations because it involves shift operations across the array depending upon where we are. So a lot of data elements could be shifted. Now let's look at linked list in a little bit more detail. So if we observe, we have a linked list like this. Now we could be having data A, B, C, and D stored in this. Now if we have to search A, this is of order 1, this is of order 2, and continue, and this is of order 4, and then there could be something here which is of order n. Now this means as the linked list grows, the access latency grows. Now the access latency that we are talking here about is the average access latency or the worst case access latency. So the worst case here would be to have array of n being pulled. Sorry, um, linked list, the nth node of the linked list being pulled. Nth node, yeah. So the because the worst case is bad and the pattern sort of continues to grow from 0 till n, so the average case is also giving you diminishing returns. Secondly, even memory wise, so if your linked list is very large, say you have 10,000 elements in your linked list and you have a 64-bit system, so it would mean that 8 bytes per entry are reserved for entrance. And if you have say 10,000 or even better say 10k amount of entries, then in that case you have 2 raised to power 3 plus 2 raised to power 10 of so of the order of this. So this much or 2 raised to power 13, um, the order of memory that is being lost here to bookkeeping pointers. So let's look further. So comparing the two operations between arrays and linked list, so we will see that some operations are better here and some operations are better here. Like insertion or deletion seems comfortable here, whereas insertion or deletion are tough here. Accessing or retrieving data seems easier here and seems difficult here because this here there is an O and off n traversal. So in array, if you are accessing any of the middle or the end data, then it is still fine. But consider that you are deleting something in the very beginning, then that would mean that a lot of data is rushed left. So this means a lot of shift operations which are not healthy for your software. So this was some information around the linked lists in general. Now let us look at the coding perspective for this. So the first type of linked list that we are going to cover is singly linked list. So mind you that the list type is predominantly governed by the type of link. So later on we will see more kind of links, like there is a doubly linked list. We will also go through something called a circular linked list. And then there are some advanced linked lists as well, which we will brush upon.